Use a 21mm socket, take the lug nuts off, and take the wheel off. Take these two caliper bolts out, use a 14mm socket. Take a straight blade screwdriver, just get in between the rotor and the caliper, just compress the piston a little bit. Just makes it easier to take the caliper off, slide it off, and use a caliper hook and just attach it to the coil spring. Make sure there's no tension on the hose. Take the brake pads off. Take these two caliper bracket bolts out, use a 17mm socket. And take that out and slide the bracket right off the rotor. Take these two screws out, use a Phillips head screwdriver. If they don't come out too easy, you can use an impact driver. And slide the rotor off. If it's stuck on, just take a hammer and hit in these locations. Just be careful not to hit the studs. Just take a wire brush and just take some of the rust off of the hub surface. You could also take a die grinder and just grind some of it off. Just don't take off too much material. Take some anti-seize and just give it a nice thin coat. This is just going to prevent the rotor from sticking later if you ever have to take it off again. Take the rotor, put it on backwards first. Take some brake parts cleaner and spray it down. And wipe it down with a rag. Pull it off, flip it around. Make sure you line up the holes with the threaded holes. And spray this side down as well. And wipe it down. And put the screws back in. And just tighten these down snug, not too tight. Let's clean up the brake caliper bracket. Use a straight blade screwdriver. Just take these caliper slide clips off. And a wire brush. Just clean up some of the rust. Take some brake caliper grease. Nice thin coat. Take a new caliper slide clip or anti-rattle clip. And a little more caliper grease. Nice thin coat. And then do the same on the other side. Take the slide pins out. Just grab these, slide them off. And take some brake parts cleaner. Clean these off. And if it was extremely bad, you can clean off in there, use some type of pipe cleaner or wire brush and some brake parts cleaner. This one was not too rusty, so we don't have to worry about it. And put some more caliper grease on. Reinstall it. And make sure the boot is attached all the way around. And that's good. Do the same on this side. Reinstall the bracket over the rotor and take the bolts, get those started. And torque these bolts to 69 foot-pounds. Take the brake pads, install the pads. The one with the brake warning indicator or the squealer is going to go on the inside at the base, and the one without is going to go on the outside. That's good. Now take the caliper off, take the hanger off. Use a caliper compressing tool. I'm going to compress the brake caliper. This is going to push the piston into the caliper. It's going to push the fluid through the brake hoses, through the lines, back up into the brake master cylinder reservoir. Just go nice and slow. Now just make sure the hose isn't twisted. And slide the caliper over the brake pads. Take the 2 bolts, get the bolts started. Now torque these bolts to 20 foot-pounds. Put the tire on. And the lug nuts. Now I'm going to torque the lug nuts down to 80 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. We'll just go around again, double check. After you're done, make sure you pump the brake pedal nice and slow. There's going to be an air gap between the brake pads and the brake caliper piston. Once it feels good, you're all set. And make sure you check your brake fluid in the brake reservoir, brake master cylinder reservoir, and adjust accordingly.